What do you want? There you go. They can sit on the couch.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll put a couple of these wall, maybe a couple of
Sorry, fellas. I'll try and get you out of here. We have to get it. Okay. Yeah, there's there's something I I'll pick it up. Yes. Oh yeah, well I guess it means sorry. Now I guess it's yeah. Yeah, we've been trying to and we've gotten so much better over here. Yeah, even with the crying. Yeah, it's really. I have to say, Wendell's been such a like yeah. But the nice thing is, they're not just a great I guess we're going to get going. Are we ready? Alrighty. Are we ready? Good evening, everyone. It is 7 o'clock and we have a full house. I want to really thank the people that came at 6. I know it was confusing. Thank you so much for coming and staying. It's really appreciated. We have a full agenda tonight, so we're going to get right to it. We are going to call to order. And would anybody like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? All right. Judge Josh Berkowitz will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Sure. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, I just had to verify that we have a quorum of board members here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of 9?
I don't know if I raised my hand.
Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, 7. We got 7. We're missing Jack, and I know that Margot's going to get here. Great, so we have a quorum of board members. We have to approve last meeting's minutes. Is there anybody who would be willing to make a motion to approve that is June's? We did not have a meeting in July. Gary's made a motion. Anybody to second?
I'll second.
Rick is seconding. Any discussion? If we can vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? We are good to go with our last meeting minutes. We have to adopt the agenda. Once again, those are on your table. If you could please review those, that would be lovely. And if someone could make a motion to adopt tonight's agenda.
I'll make a motion.
John Young makes a motion to adopt the agenda. Do we have a second? Gary is seconding. And all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? We are ready to go. We have to look at the treasurer's report. The treasurer report is also on your tables. I know I have to be careful not to go back anywhere. Okay, if we have a motion, our NSP detail, we have NSP, we have to vote on this every year. It is something very important that all of you are involved in. And I think we have spent, about halfway through the spending. Do we have a motion to approve the treasurer's report? Oh, Matt has made a motion. Julie has seconded. Sorry, John, John can take any questions you have.
Any questions? Perfect.
All right, all those in favor? All those opposed? Abstentions? It passes. All right, we are going to start with Sergeant Sellers from District 2. Sergeant Sellers, you have your reports from Sergeant Sellers are on the tables. Here you go, Sergeant Sellers. Does anybody need one?
Okay, good evening. So I am Sergeant Sellers. I'm the supervisor for the neighborhood unit in District 2, which covers Mt.Washington area. And your crime report for the current 28 days, if you look at the report, is at the bottom. And you're looking really, really good. Whenever you see green, you're looking really, really, really good. So for the current 28 days, for the Part 1 violent crimes, you have none. So for the whole 28 current days, you had no violent crimes, which would include homicide, rapes, robberies, aggravated assault, strangulations. For our Part 1 property crime, you had 0 burglary B&Es. You had 1 theft from auto, 3 auto thefts, and 2 personal thefts. So I went and looked up what the auto thefts were. And one of the offense occurred at UDF. Someone left their keys in the car. Someone took off with it. So we don't want to leave our keys in the car or our key fobs in the car. The last 2 was Hyundais. One was an attempt. They couldn't actually get it because the person had the update. The other one, the person had not gotten the updates for the Hyundai or the Kia. So if you have a Hyundai or you know someone that has a Hyundai or a Kia, they need to get the update on it so that they're not as accessible to steal. Personal thefts is just what it is. It's people going inside of the Kroger's or the UDF taking items. So other than that, you had no serious offenses in Mt.Washington for this period. Any questions, concerns, problems? We're still working diligently, although we don't have the CPOP project going on, but we're still working diligently on being visible in Stansbury Park. We have directed patrols where officers are up here at nighttime, overnight, and they're checking the parks. And we're also still in touch with the city manager's office to work with individuals that are spotted out that may possibly need resources. So again, if you're running into any of those sorts of things, please give Officer Martin a call so that we can deal with it as expeditiously as we can. All right.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Sergeant Sellers? Any questions? Oh, she's already leaving. She's jogging out of here. Okay, no. Is there, yes.
Are the drones working? The drones are out. We have not brought them up here yet because they've been using them downtown. So we have not brought them out here yet because we haven't gotten any complaints yet. But if you tell us or you have any suspicions that you think they're deep down in the woods, then we will bring the drones out. It's just a request. All you have to do is ask us and we will bring them out. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say thank you for the continued patrols in Stanbury Park. It is really making a huge difference, not a small difference, a huge difference.
Yeah,
So,
we appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it. It's a lot of work, but somebody got to do it, right? And it's got to be the police, not fire, the police. No, I'm just playing. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Nikki, would you like to speak on behalf? Nikki is probably exhausted. It was the first day of school today. So Mt.Washington is an early school. They start at 7:30 in the morning.
7:25.
7:25.
Which means some of us are there at 7 a.m. Good morning, everybody. Afternoon, evening. Here we are. Couple of items. Thank you. Big shout out to Gary. He showed up and helped us with our Spruce Up the Lawn event that we did at school. For those of you that haven't heard, there was a last minute additional $5 million cut from the powers that be. So CPS had to find other things to cut, which included the landscaping that they do on the buildings in August, where we get fresh mulch and the lawn looks nice and we welcome our students back. So there was a small group of us that were able to pull weeds and at least clean up the beds the best we could. So thank you, Gary, for doing that. It was hot, you guys. That was a rough night. Rick, you and I might be the only two that remember this. Many moons ago, Mercy Health threatened to pull out as a partner at Mt.Washington School. That was, 7, 8 years ago. And I am sad to report that that actually has now happened. We no longer have a health clinic inside of Mt.Washington School. I'm going to spin this as best I can on the upside. It's because they weren't seeing sick kids, okay? So I can't be mad that we don't have a clinic if there's not a whole bunch of kids that need those services. So the good news is that means our kids are healthier and they're seeing their primary doctors. So we're going to take it on the positive side. But so that everybody here knows, Community Council was very involved with that years ago now, but Mercy is no longer a partner inside of Mt.Washington School. Lastly, this is a housekeeping item that I have not brought to this body in the past, and I was encouraged to do so. We'll say it a nice way. So we have a group, every Cincinnati Public School has an organization called the Local School Decision Making Committee, which is a big fancy word for putting together parents, staff, and community. And we go over all kinds of different things, such as the budget for the year. They're responsible for principal selection. Should that be on the agenda? They're the ones that approve the partnerships, like Mercy. That's the group that takes care of that work. I could use one more community member. It is a 2-year term. We meet once a month. It is the first Tuesday of the month between usually 4 and 5. Sometimes we have to bump it to 4:30. In other communities, the community council has a board member that sits on it. That seems like a lot for volunteers, so I'm just going to make a general announcement that I could use one more person. If you are interested, give me a call over at the school, 513-363-3800. Any questions? Please stop for all of the yellow buses. Okay.
Okay, once again, the number is 513-363-3800. Is there anybody here from Sands tonight? Oh, there we go.
Hi, I was gonna say no update, but then Nikki would make me look like we aren't doing anything. And she also reminded me of the LSDMC, which is the local decision-making body for the schools, which I have just stepped on to my first 2-year term. So I will likely be attending these meetings representing that committee going forward and not our SMPO, which is the SANS parent organization, because we have finally hired a resource coordinator, which we haven't had a consistent one, I think, since Nikki left, that had been there for many years. So we now have one. We didn't have one for all of last school year. And I'm hoping that she will start joining me at these meetings. So hopefully you'll be seeing Miss Marcy with me when she can make it. But otherwise, we had our first day today. We are late school. I think we start at 8:50 still.
Yeah, 8:50.
8:50-ish, so we get to sleep in a little bit. Sorry, Nikki. But that is nice. Otherwise, I'll probably have more updates next month.
Thank you so much. All right, CRC, you're up.
Sorry, it's been a long day. Not a whole lot to report for this month for us. We're just pretty much transitioning out of our summer programs and into our school year. So as I mentioned, today was the first day of school for CPS, so that was our first day of before school and after school care. Both of our programs before and after school are full right now. We are probably looking at maybe bringing another staff or two in to open it up for more people. But we don't have any space available currently. We will be beginning our homeschool gym classes in a few weeks. So if you guys know of any homeschool children that are looking to do gym classes, that registration should be open online right now. And then we also have preschool tumbling that'll be starting in, I think it's 3 weeks from now. So that's also online where you can register for preschool tumbling. Other than that, like I said, just transitioning into fall. So is there any questions? Great. Thank you.
Wow, that was the quickest report. Okay, Bob, do you want to come? Who wants to speak on MWCURC? Okay, I'm sorry, what? Well, no, they have to be able to hear you. We're also doing this live stream. We're on YouTube. We have our own channel. By the way, please sign up for our channel. If we get 50 subscribers, that is a really great thing. We're at like 40. We need 10 more of you to sign up for our YouTube channel.
All right, guys. Spaghetti dinners are back. And thanks to our friend, Mr. Rabe, he got us a new location. We're at this Mt.Washington Methodist Church starting the 20th of September from 4 to 7. So that's our new location we're for this year. And all this does is raise money for the tower. And the tower, everything's working fine on it, thank the Lord. On September 15th, September 15th, the lights will change to breast cancer. And then on October 15th, they will change to pumpkin chuck. So that's where it will be for there. And then that'll run all the way through till Thanksgiving. The Monday after Thanksgiving, they'll change to Christmas. So that's the plan for all of there. As far as we're trying to keep the weeds down in Mt.Washington. We've had a lot of rain this year. The landscapers can't keep up, but we've got a volunteer who's been going up there spraying, Jack Diesel, and he's got some organic type weed killer. Won't hurt anybody. He checked into all kinds of stuff. So he's doing some more tomorrow, so hopefully it'll get better.
Thank you so much. Any questions for Bob? All right, a representative from MW.
Posters, if you take them, put them in your church, put them anywhere you go that you think people will be, you get ladies and interested.
All right. Anybody from MWCDC to speak? There you go.
Thank you. How's it going? My name is Frank Pasofsky. I'm here to represent the CDC. Unfortunately, we don't have a whole lot of updates. We found that we were not successful on the NBDIP grant for the Tom Roth Alley project. And aside from that, we are working with the council and the Kirk on the holiday market. And I know Teddy is going to give a little bit more of a detailed update whenever. I guess we'll do it right now. Yeah.
Hi, everybody. So this year, the Community Council, the CDC, and the Kirk are all working together on a brand new event for our community called the Holiday Market. It is still a work in progress. It's a new thing. It's going to be on November 22nd in the parking lot behind the business district from 4 to 8 p.m. There's a flyer on each table and a few extra at the front. We are looking for volunteers and for people to have booths at the market. We already have about 20 people who are interested, which is exciting, but we want more, and we definitely need volunteers. So please, you can reach out to me. My name is Teddy. I'll stay late. Or on the flyer is the web address for the CDC. You can always send us an email and let us know that you're interested in volunteering. Thank you very much.
Any questions for the CDC?
We have some, I don't know if this is the right time. I didn't see any super people here, but we got some.
Oh, sorry, hold on.
I guess we can direct some questions to the CDC since I think it's a partnership with CBER for that development, but we've been waiting since it was announced for updates and still don't have any. For a group that claims to be for the betterment of Mt.Washington, you would think that there would be some involvement from community members, but we haven't seen that. We're also concerned because I know that there was an active slip on Elston Road, which recently just crumbled, and I guess they had been planning to put in a retaining wall, which is, for those of you who are new, we're very concerned about our homes because there's been no talk about a retaining wall and how to keep up the hill towards Beachmont. That's also there are some active slips in there. So yeah, Elston Road is now collapsed because the wall was never put in before they started the bike connector. And now the county is paying to pay for that and fix that, which is all of us. So yeah, we just have some questions about that. If anybody has any answers, we would greatly appreciate it.
And we understand that they just awarded $7.7 million for this project. And
Belmar.
for Belmar, the Belmar project to build the senior citizen home down there. And last we heard, there was no new developments. That's a new development.
They're getting almost $8 million.
Back in May.
Yeah. Somebody got $8 million back in May.
You asked Mr. Sieber for an update on the project, I recall.
Yes.
And you asked him what the status was, and he said, just the same. Somebody asked for clarification, and he said just the same. But you guys found out that he's received $8 million in grants back in May. And June
Okay,
said there was
well,
no-
hold on, we're, people at home cannot hear this. So the people who live on Ranchville, just to explain this, asked for an update in May. They were told there was, or June, I'm not sure if it was May or June. You were told there was no new update. Consequently,
They found out, they were just telling me today, they found out that they got $8 million.
consequently, you found out they were awarded $8 million in grant funds, and they said there was no new updates when that happened back in May. Frank, would you like to address this? You probably don't want to address it, but I think it needs to be addressed.
I'll address it the best I can, which is unfortunately not that much. I'm not on our real estate subcommittee, so I'm not as privy, but I did ask Mike, if there's any updates that we can provide, and I was told that we don't have any updates at this time. Unfortunately, that's all I have.
Can I just check? Who is on the real estate committee?
It's Mike,
Mike who?
Mike Sieber. That, Mhm.
So he doesn't give the CDC that he's a group member of any other outside.
if I've been told if there was an update to be had, then we would share it. Yeah, I'm finding that out.
And just to clarify, the CDC is who actually got the grant to buy the property that Seabrook Building was rewarded, but is it on the board?
I'm sorry, what was that?
He's on the board.
Yep.
So the board gives him $8 million.
Well-
Or he gets it $8 million. And, I mean, how can he be on the board and get the money?
That's a good question. Everything we've been told is that everything, we're following the rules, and
That is not right.
I mean, what they do is try to sneak this through without us knowing about it.
no, I know. Yeah, we're,
That hill starts to slide, our property goes with.
yeah, no, we're confident, the city is not going to allow us to build anything that's going to jeopardize the surrounding houses.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
Yeah.
Sorry, but Mr. Bursch, do you want?
I can address a little bit.
Okay,
of it
can
when
we
I-
give him
when
the
I go
microphone?
up to present.
Okay, Bob Bursch will be coming up here to address it. Is that correct, Mr. Bursch?
I can't address everything, I can address a tiny
Okay,
of what's going on from the city side right now.
okay. The one thing I could request, though, from the city and the CDC, this always comes back to the community council. We need you to be more proactive when you are applying for grants and other financing, things that are happening in Mt.Washington, we cannot find out after the fact, because this is what happens. And it's not fair to the community council to be put in the middle when you are doing things and not updating the community. You need to engage with our community. That is my message. Okay? I really would appreciate that, because there are other things now happening that we now have to react to instead of proact and work together. We need to work together instead of reacting. It's just not okay. Thank you so much, Frank. So we have Stanberry Park. You better have some good news, Stanberry Park.
Yikes. It's a tough act to follow. I guess let's start since we're talking about that area. I think a lot of folks are, maybe some folks are familiar that there was money awarded to Mt.Washington to build some bike trails up to Ranchville. It'll connect down to Elston. So I don't know if that's been discussed previously. That directly affects me as a president of the Stanberry Park Advisory Council, because we've been fighting that since 2019. Not going to pile on anymore on the organization that started that, but it looks like we're kind of getting out of the woods. No pun intended, but it looks like the bike trail is no longer going to be going through Stanberry Park. And so, is that good? We'll start with that. Yes. And so as far as events go, I made a Facebook post a day or two ago. Folks are wanting to know what's going on at the park. Why is it quiet? Why aren't you updating us more? Generally, folks, we don't do a lot, especially late June through July. It's just too hot. We've tried to program the park in the past, got minimal attendance. And this year, was really a hot one as well. So I'm kind of glad we didn't do much, but that's now changing. So starting this Sunday, we have Shakespeare in the Park, Midnight Summer's Dream. That's courtesy of the Cincinnati Parks Foundation. 7 o'clock Sunday night at the Kyle Plush Pavilion. Everybody's welcome. It's a free performance. It usually brings up a really nice crowd. Next weekend, we go quiet, but then the following weekend, starting in September, every Friday, there's going to be something going on Friday evenings at the park. Clark Jenkins is a local acoustic musician. He's going to play the first Friday, which is September 5th, I believe. And then we're going to roll into movie nights. And so then it starts getting a little darker. We can start showing some movies. Again, they're going to be normally family friendly. I've tried to do more older programming, or I don't want to call it adult programming. That sounds funny, but yeah, well, generally when we show the family movies, the families come out. And so we're going to kind of stick to that formula. I've got the Minecraft movie booked and the new Lilo and Stitch, and I need to find one more movie if anybody has any suggestions. But again, those will all be on Friday nights. The movies as soon as it gets dark, so at dusk, come on out, check out a movie, bring a lawn chair, bring a blanket, and hang out in the park. It's a really lovely setting this time of year. Then October we go quiet, and then of course we end with the pumpkin chuck, which is really early this year, November 1st.
Yeah, Margot's going to talk about it.
Okay, I won't steal any of Margot's thunder. Then that's all I have. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Any questions for Mark? Yes. Yes.
So did I hear correctly that there was a plan to put a bike trail that would connect to Stanbury Park, and there's opposition to that? Can you explain why that's bad?
I mean, a plan is kind of stretching it. There were some ideas that were thrown out there. I'm sorry. There wasn't ever anything formal. There was some talk about doing it to connect down and give everybody an opportunity to connect to the Little Miami Bike Trail. If you've walked Stanbury Park, especially the backside of the trails, it's really, really steep. We're talking up to 12% grade. It's literally, unless you're like a super active athlete, you're not going to be going up or down that hill to connect to the Little Miami Trail. And additionally, there was opposition because there's burial mounds at the park, directly where these trails were supposed to go, or where the idea was. There's some that people know about that's documented. There's others that aren't generally known about that we're kind of keeping quiet with. So we're kind of being respectful to that. And in general, there was no funding. So no funding, bad idea, better idea. The city has funding to connect. If you're on the Little Miami Bike Trail.
Yeah, erosion issues. There were erosion issues.
Well, and as I mentioned with the 12% grade, either you're going to go straight down the hill or you're going to have a whole lot of switchbacks. And luckily, Beachmont Avenue is one giant switchback. As you're going up the hill, you have a lower grade because you kind of slowly go up the hill. So, and the people generally that ride on the Little Miami Trail aren't riding on mountain bikes. They have $2,000 really nice street bikes, road bikes. So they're not going to take that off-roading at Stanbury Park. So I think it's not a done deal. I mean, it could pop back up, but the fact that money's being awarded, we'll be able to connect the neighborhood business district to the Little Miami Bike Trail, have everybody use it. I think that's an extremely positive situation for the neighborhood. Does anybody else have any other questions? Bob?
Now, what about this bike trail being extended coming up Beachmont Avenue? Is that going to really happen?
That's what I was referring to, yes. The funding was awarded up to Ranchvale. Now, I don't have specifics. I'm kind of talking out of my league. I just got really excited when I saw money was allocated to, essentially right now we already have a bike trail going up, but it shares the road with the cars. And they're supposed to bump it out now so that they can take that and make that one wide path instead of, and it was 200,000, 150,000, pretty good amount of money.
I can talk to you a little bit.
Okay.
They're going to, right now it's on the road. They are going to bump the sidewalk back out and the bike trail will be protected with a curb going up Beachmont. Yes. And I will tell you one of the other things, because I live on Stanbury Park. One of the big things, and I've lived there for 25 years, was that we have a ton of dog walkers and children. We have all the schools come to that park. They would have had to share the trail with mountain bikers. So if you picture people with dogs and little children trying to share a trail with a mountain bike going a lot faster, it was just not a good situation, because we have the children walking up from Sands, from Mt.Washington, from the preschools, and they're supposed to be roaming those trails. And it was just kind of a nightmare to think about having them all on the trails, same trails together. So that was where a lot of, and the indigenous Miami tribe of Oklahoma actually wrote a letter opposing any sort of trails like that going through. So long-winded answer. Okay, any other questions, or can we move on? Because we got stuff to do. So
Hopefully we see you at the park Sunday, 7 o'clock.
all right, 7 o'clock Sunday. Thank you. Mr. Birch is here, and Darby, I think. So if you wouldn't mind, they are going to discuss current plans. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. I came here to talk about a little bit of land on Beachmont and Mears that the city's looking to accept as new right-of-way. But while I'm here, I can also address a little bit about, I can't talk to the bike path at all because I've been not directly involved in that, but indirectly, Darby and I have been involved as it relates to the senior project because the DOT, our Department of Transportation Engineering, was looking at how much land they needed for that bike path. And then they have now come up with that answer, and they know kind of what they need for land. And there is some land left over that could go to the property owner, which could move the building closer away from the hillside. That is it right now in review of different departments are reviewing that to make sure that that land that the city may sell is okay, because everybody has to chime in on that. Waterworks, the sewer district, anybody who uses right-of-way have to make sure that that would be okay for them to let that property go. And that just because and that process is an internal process that's going through that right now. Once that is complete, which takes about 60 days to do that, then there's an actual map we could show you of what possibly could be sold to that developer of cities right away currently that could go to him. And why I'm here tonight is because there's a process that the city must go through to accept right away or to sell right away. And that includes going through the City Planning Commission and then being approved fully by City Council. And so why I was here tonight was because the property at the corner there at Mears and Beachmont, we have been looking at that with the CDC for about 2 years now. Well, actually, it's been looked at for about 10 years now. There was a traffic study plan done in 2015, and that's if you're looking at your, basically it was to get a little bit of property there to straighten off the curb and be able to put in a turning lane towards Mears. And so that study was done in 2015, and then the new property owner bought that property, and he can't really utilize it very well as its current state, so he met with DOTE and our department, and what it was, well, first we need some right-of-way property from you, and then in order to do that, we need to put in a new traffic signal, and then we could eventually widen the road and put in the turning lane. So we went to Planning Commission. This has been going on for about 2 years, this process. We have these drawings now. All we were trying to do was get the right-of-way accepted by the city, but there were some questions about what was going on. So we're here tonight to kind of try to explain. At this point, all we're doing is trying to get that right-of-way so that the traffic signal, which has been, the CDC went through a neighborhood business district improvement program and got a grant to help, that the city would install a new traffic signal there. So the traffic signal will allow for potentially, if you see the aerial map there, a driveway that could go into the property, which you cannot do right now because the traffic light can't accept it. So I'm here to answer any questions on that. We are not at this time have any funding to widen the road or put in the turning lane. We're only kind of getting ready to eventually down the road, when we get funding, to be able to do that as the next step. Yes.
So Seabrook owns the land you're talking about by Mears. So they're gonna probably give up part of that land and the traffic light so they can convince the city to give them right away down behind the bike trail at the bottom.
So that these were totally different projects, but that project down there, it is, I know, but that process that will have to go to City Planning Commission and City Council, just like this one will. It has not started and won't start for a few months. And when it does, we will make sure you have when the meetings are, And if you have any questions, but the goal is to try to move that building closer to the street and give him more land away from the hillside. So it would be advantageous for him to own more land to move it away from the hillside.
Right, but they would still be digging into the hillside, it's still gonna affect.
At that point, that's when he should be showing more of his plans and development before that sale goes through, so you could see whether you have comments when that goes to city council or not, of whether you're going to, voice your opinion in opposition or in favor of it.
They're not keeping us abreast of anything.
That's all. I'm sorry. I know. I understand. I apologize. But all the city has right now is the request to look at moving or selling extra land, whatever extra land we have, and that's what we're in the process of doing.
Will the city let us know when we can?
Absolutely. It's a whole public process, planning commission and city council. And if you haven't seen or gotten more information, that's the time to tell those appointed and elected people that you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm sorry, hold on, I'll go around the room.
Isn't part of the problem with this situation what Priscilla was just talking about, saying that the CDC has to start being more transparent? Because this is the first, I heard about this a couple of weeks ago, and a few of us have worked on a traffic calming plan for the segment of Beachmont that starts at Mears Morrow to Berkshire. So if the CDC is operating at a level where it's like development up my sleeve sort of thing, how are the rest of the community supposed to be engaging in items like traffic calming if it seems like everybody's working against each other? If a developer who's on the CDC and they're all keeping it secret, then isn't our work on traffic calming for nothing?
I'm representing the city, so I don't know how the CDC and community council interact, and when the city is involved, which we are here in this situation, I'm here to try to bring you what I know right now.
Appreciate that. Does that go up on pages on the city's website? I mean, I've been in the planning
Can you come out here,
section of the
John?
city website. That kind of thing. I can't find it.
This was when it went before planning commission. There's a whole report that was done. There was a whole report that was done, and that was put up on the website prior to. And that's when Priscilla and Julie and some others came to ask questions about.
Is there any way that before a grant is awarded that there is some, like when we do NSP, we have to have a community vote, we have to submit that to the neighborhood support program. Is there any way we can assure community involvement by saying that also has to happen before grants are awarded?
So in our application process, they should be contacting the community council prior to applying to see what the community council feels about the project. We don't require a support letter, but we do require that you do bring the situation to the community council and make sure. It's not looked upon favorably if the community council isn't in agreement with on the grant. And I'm just talking about the neighborhood business district improvement program in that situation.
We had no involvement, just so you know, there was absolutely no involvement.
I understand.
Well, just to back up too,
Where's John?
it's our
Oh, there.
understanding that.
Oh, wait, okay, can you let John speak? He's been waiting patiently.
Well, I guess I just have a question. So you are here to talk about this parcel at Morrow and Beachmont Mears. What are you asking from us? What do they want to do with this triangle piece of land?
At this point, I don't know that the development is not ready to go yet. All we're doing here is accepting a portion of his property for right of way. I'm not necessarily asking for anything. I'm just trying to give you the information because this is going to go to city council in a few weeks, and you could weigh in if you wanted to before that meeting to say what you feel. But the actual development is not ready to go yet, and that will have to go through its own process of zoning, permitting, planning, and if there's anything that they want to put there that's against what is allowed to go there, then that'll have to go through public, like a variance or zoning change or something to that effect. That will also need a lot of additional approvals from the city that a public process would be warranted.
Sorry. I was going to have Mark. Thank you. But I do thank you very much for coming, Bob. I know this is I know this is a heated discussion.
I just got a general question. The city's investing a lot of money in street calming, and I think this community council has made a request or is going to make a request to do some street calming in the business district. And what I've seen the $7.8 million for maybe Queen City Avenue over on the west side, where we got some of the speed humps in the neighborhood. I think they're like $50,000 a lot of money to slow cars down. And what I'm seeing here is an additional lane of traffic, be it a turn lane onto a street that I live off of. And are you with the Department of Transportation and Engineering? No. So this
was what was a study that DOTE did in 2015 on improving traffic on Beachmont. This was the recommendation to put in a turn. How could we get a turning lane on the Mears? Is I guess what the issue was to try to help resolve. Now we're not at that point, and we can always change it. All we're doing at this point is accepting right away and putting in a new traffic signal. So,
in your experience, is adding additional lanes onto roadways a street calming measure?
It's weighed a lot of different ways. If people are stopped and they go around and you're trying to cross the crosswalk, that can be a very dangerous situation. So I'm not a traffic engineer, and if the plan for traffic is more of a traffic calming plan, maybe we should relook at that 2015 plan and talk about it before we do any actual construction work.
That's great to hear.
And again, we're not at that stage right now. We're only at the stage of putting in a traffic signal and accepting some because it's a dangerous curve too. So you would need, but you could do a lot of different things with the intersection when we actually design it for construction.
Oh, sorry, Julie, and then, okay. Guys, we do have to wrap this up though, so.
I did go down and speak at the city. Bob, you were there. Bob has actually been the most forthcoming person from the city that I've ever spoken with. But when you did mention you've worked with the CDC for a couple of years on this, that was the $153,000 grant to put in the light. Never once this is the elephant in the room. The CDC has never come here, talked about that grant once. One of their members stood up and said, we're going to be getting some grant money to make that intersection safer. That's all we've ever heard. That's the sum of it. But really what's happened is Seaver has given away the equivalent of, they got that property for nothing. They got it for $40,000. They gave the equivalent of a less than $5,000 strip of land. We taxpayers will pay over $500,000 to widen Beachmont there and put in new sidewalks and curb cuts and all of that. And I just want you to know that a lot of what's pushing this is Mr. Sieber says it's hard for me to lease that land that he paid $40,000 for. He's given the city $5,000. Shouldn't we spend $500,000 to help him make more money there? I don't think so, because it's not safer for pedestrians.
Okay, that is a personal opinion, so that is not the opinion of the community. That is Julie's opinion. Okay, is there anybody else who'd like to say anything? Okay, Mr. Birch, thank you so much for coming out here tonight. It is greatly appreciated. All right, to the main excitement. I do want to make sure that we do have Raphael? Yes, we have your name spelled properly, Raffel, correct? That needs to be corrected. Okay, Ms. Cole, welcome back. All right, this is our city council candidates. Thank you so much. Thank you, Darby. All right, Lakita, you have 3 minutes. At the end, guys, you will be able to answer questions. We are not going to ask questions until the end. So after all the city council candidates and Judge Berkowitz speak, then you will be able to ask questions. Okay?
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
so
Thank
welcome.
you.
3
Thank you.
minutes.
Yes, I got you. Good evening, and thank you for having me. My name's Lakita Cole. Hopefully you kind of remember that name. Go to the poll, vote for Cole. I was on council 16 years ago actually. And so in that time, being on council 16 years ago, I was term limited. I went up to Columbus, came back. I worked in the city administration. I now have my own business, a cleaning business. I also have an 8-year-old child. Yes, I don't know what I was thinking about. 51, 52 with an 8-year-old child that's running circles around me, but I do have one and I'm happy about that. But I'm the vice president of the Bond Hill Community Council, and as such, I've started hearing a lot of problems and concerns that our community is having, particularly that we felt like the council was not listening to our concerns. And so, everywhere I went, I kept on hearing these issues that were going on. And so people kept asking me to run for council. And so I decided to run for council again. And there's a couple of reasons why, because I felt like, and I'm going to just use my name as an acronym, C for collaboration. I felt like there was no collaboration with the community, business owners, and the council members. And I think that was definitely needed to have some collaboration and some compromises that are going on with the issues that are happening in our city. And O for optimism and opportunities that I think that is necessary for our city. I am very optimistic that if we get the right people on the bus, that we can actually turn our city around and going down the right path that we need to be on. And the L for leadership that listens. I'm a person that's listened. I've always listened. I have a proven track record to do so. I've come out to your communities. Y'all talked about the Neighborhood Business District Support Fund, and that is something I created when I was on council because I listened to the community that they were competing, that the business district and the neighborhood community council were competing for the same pot of money. And I wanted to make sure that if our communities were flourishing, that they were not competing for that same pot of money, but they were actually going to work in tandem, working together. And here in your CDC, which is a great opportunity for me because we're actually developing our CDC in Bond Hill. And so I heard some things that I wanted to make sure that we're going to put in our rules that our CDC doesn't go rogue and that they actually have to come back to our council to get approval. So I want to thank you all for having me here and being able to hear those conversations because it is definitely something I'm going to take back to our community council. And E for experience because I feel like I have the necessary experience that no other candidate has. I worked in the administration beforehand. I worked as a council member. I worked along in having a business my own self. And so when I having my business and working with other businesses, what I learned is that the permitting process is a nightmare. I also learned that many of our things, and I learned it not only because I was on the inside, but I actually learned it from working on the outside. And they also say that things are online. They're not online. You have to download the application, print it out, and hope that it goes somewhere. My time is almost up. I know. So I'm going to tell you this. You want some more information about me, go to www.lakitacole.com is my website. I'm going to pass out some information as well. And I ask you that in November when you go to the poll to vote for Cole.
Thank you so, so much. All right, Dawn Johnson. Don't make me get the hook out, Dawn. There you go.
I know, right? You might have to. Hi, everybody. How you doing tonight? My name is Dawn Johnson. I'm honored to be here. I want to say, first of all, I went to Sands Montessori. Yes, my mom was actually the principal of Sands Montessori for 15 years. Montessori for life. So I am deeply connected to your neighborhood. I understand how important it is that for the youth. That's one of my platforms is youth empowerment. I want to pour into the youth. I want to, help give them opportunities, help them to become entrepreneurs and build pipelines. I'm very excited. I believe in our youth. They may not make the right decisions all the time. Okay, we know that, but I believe in them. They're smart and we need to invest in them. My second platform is civic development. First of all, like, I am also the president of the North Avondale Neighborhood Association. I've been doing the work. Okay. I've been out here. I know what it's like to have a city council that's not listening to you. Okay. You know, I'm not against development, but I do believe that our voice needs to be in the process. In my neighborhood, what we're doing is, you know, we're creating the historic designation project. We're going to be one of the first neighborhoods where our entire neighborhood is a historic designation. Why? Because that puts our voice back into the process. They have to ask us before they start development. And if I'm doing that for my neighborhood, that's what I'm going to do for my city. Okay, I get things done. I'm already doing the work. I'm the president of my neighborhood, and I'm damn good. Okay, and I'm going to do that for our city. All right. You know, the third thing is, you know, our safety is a big concern in our city, and you know, safety is all of our responsibility. We can't arrest our way out of this situation. You know, these kids and even these adults who act like children sometimes. Okay, they need help. We need help. This is all of our responsibility. I don't claim to have all of the answers, but I do know that a lot of our organizations in our city, we're working in silos, and we need to work together. We need to get the infrastructure together. We need to talk to one another. We need to figure it out. Okay. There's a lot that needs to be done, and I'm here for you. I am born and raised in Cincinnati, and this is what I do. This is what I love. This is what I believe in. I believe in you. Okay, I want to be your voice. Just like Lakita said, you know, your voice needs to be in this process. So youth empowerment, civic development, wellness. I'm all about wellness, okay? Mental health, maternal health, okay, and safety. Those are my top priorities. That's what needs to be done. I'm already doing it. So this is exactly why I want to be on council. You know, and I don't want to just talk at you. Actually, I want you to tell me, what do I need to do? Okay, I'm working for you. I need you to hire me. Okay, I'm feeling the dirt. But yes, thank you so much, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right, Rafael. Is it Rafa or Rafael?
Yeah, 2 syllables.
All right, sir.
Yeah, Rafael Prophet. So, wow. I took like three pages of notes just listening to all of the issues that this community is going through. Very convoluted. But let me just introduce myself. I'm a lifelong Cincinnatian, born and raised here, educated here, Cincinnati Public Schools, undergraduate, University of Cincinnati. Let me hit the timer. I don't want to go over. Advanced degree at Xavier. I spent 32 years on the fire department, retiring as a district chief. I've worked in every neighborhood in the city of Cincinnati. I also had a 32-year career also in the National Guard and the reserves. And so I have the skill set, I believe, to move our city forward. What I heard a lot in just the meeting, the short time here, is the disconnectedness of our city. As a strategic planner, a deputy director of plans for Third Army when I was deployed overseas, we worked together. We made sure that we worked as a unit, not only just in terms of the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Coast Guard, but also host nations. And so we have to bring all of these stakeholders together. I think I heard one of the city representatives say that he didn't know how CDC and the community council work together. That's unacceptable. And so we have to establish on council policies and structure in order that we put processes and plans in place to make sure that we achieve what is best for our communities. And so we have to bring folks together in order to do that. Now, my priorities are first is basic services, making sure that we have clean drinking water, making sure the trash is picked up, the streets, potholes are fixed, right? And then after that, public safety. As a member of public safety and a chief officer of public safety, that is probably one of our biggest concerns, is to make sure that we have safe neighborhoods, and we have to be strategic. Now, when I was president of Cincinnati African American Firefighters Association, we put forth a ballot initiative to develop a public safety academy in one or several of the high schools to prepare kids to be cops and firefighters. We knew all those kids were not going to be cops and firefighters, but we would have poured, invested in them about how the importance of public safety. That would have spread to the school, back to the neighborhoods, would have been all safer. That happened 7 years ago, and most of you probably voted for it because overwhelmingly, 80% of you did. It's still not enacted. That would have made us safer as a city. And so we have to be strategic in that. And the next thing is providing economic opportunity, partnerships, not only between CPS and other organizations, businesses. We have to provide this economic opportunity for families. And affordable housing, we're in a affordability crisis. We're in an affordability crisis. And people say, where are these parents when these kids are out at night? They're probably working. They're probably working because they're doing everything they can to try to make things meet. And some of those things they're doing are illegal. So that's my time, but I hope you will vote for me. Go to profitforcincy.com, profitforcincy.com, Rafael Profit. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being so respectful of our time. Aaron, you are up next.
All right. Thank you, everybody, and thanks for having me tonight. My name is Aaron Weiner, and I'm running for City Council. I'm a native to Cincinnati. Grew up in Finneytown. Went to Finneytown High School. People like to know that sometimes in Cincinnati. I live in Clifton currently and involved in my neighborhood. My entire adult life has been spent in some sort of community service, community engagement, activism, and I've served on countless boards and organizations, all for the better good of our community and our people. Currently, I serve on College Hills Redevelopment Board, and I'm very highly involved in my neighborhood of Clifton. This week marked 25 years of real estate experience as a realtor. I've known Bob Wetterer my entire career. And it's hard not to fall in love with Cincinnati, combing the streets, the nooks, the crannies, the hills, the valleys, showing houses to our clients. Nobody else knows the neighborhood better than a realtor. I love this city, and that's why I'm running for City Council. And I'd love the opportunity to blend my community engagement, my activism, my passion for community service with my real estate knowledge and knowledge of the neighborhoods and my business acumen and bring that to the city of Cincinnati. And I'm not running just to fix our problems. I'm running to amplify and blend and improve our successes. We're a city of arts, great people, great food. We have Blink, Oktoberfest, the best Oktoberfest in Taste of Cincinnati. I'm all about this. So I'm going to break it down in 3 important areas that I plan to tackle while I'm on City Council: public safety, quality of life, and housing. Public safety is extremely important. It's not any news to us that this has been a heated topic all summer. And it's not a long-term fix. But I believe once I get into office, it will be my priority to make sure that the budget and the resources are there to ensure that public safety is a priority and it's executed. I'm working on a platform now, which I'll release shortly, which involves a way to recruit and retain police officers. Part of it includes a bonus structure. Part of it also includes recruitment bonuses, signing bonuses. But another part of it is something different, which I'm working on, which involves our industry in real estate, on a way to bring police officers to actually live in the city of Cincinnati. Think about that. Most of our police officers don't live in the city. I'm working on a way to fix that, and more on that later. And hopefully Bob will be a champion of it. That's it. All right. Aaron Weiner, www.weinerforcincinnati.com.
Thank you so much, Aaron. All right. We have Don Driehaus next. We do have one addition. This person wrote to us, but we didn't get back to him, but he was one of our first ones. So we're going to add Steve Good. Okay. Don, you are next. All right.
Thank you. It's good to be out here in Mt.Washington. I had a chance to meet some of the folks out here a couple weeks ago, and it's a beautiful neighborhood. I drove by a sign on Beachmont on the way in, said, "I'm dazed." I'm feeling a little dazed running around town. But I'll tell you what, this is a beautiful city, like Aaron said. We have a lot of good qualities. And neighborhoods like Mt.Washington are important because they're unique, they have unique issues, and you need to be understood. I live on the other side of town. I live in Price Hill. We have a different set of issues. We have different areas. But I work with our Community Development Corporation and our Community Council. And what I'm hearing here tonight is a sense of the need for transparency, a need to understand what your needs are here in Mt.Washington. I had the good fortune of driving here tonight along the Ohio River. Beautiful. I used to work on the river when I was younger. And when you operate the river, if the dam gates are open, you get flooding. If the dams are shut down, you get stagnation. But if you manage the flow on the river, which they do, you get productivity, commerce, and beauty. That's what I expect this council to do, is manage the flow of what goes on in this city. And each neighborhood has unique flow, character, and feel. And that needs to be respected. So I thank you for being here. And one of my kids said to me, I need a tagline too. So I guess I'll say, on election day, when you leave the house, vote for Don Driehaus. So there you go. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Josh, Judge Berkowitz, and then Steve, you will be our last, and then we will have a Q&A quickly. Josh, I can hand those out while you're speaking. We're running over. I kind of try to keep a tight
All right.
schedule.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me. My name is Josh Berkowitz. I serve as your judge in the Hamilton County Municipal Court. Had the honor and privilege in serving in that capacity for the last 10 years. And I'm always blown away when I'm here. This is a wonderful community council. The turnout that you get consistently, I gotta believe, is second to none. My race is for re-election this fall. I run in a district. My cases come from all over Hamilton County, city of Cincinnati, and beyond, the entire county. But I run in a district that's sort of the southeast corner of the county. If you think of the middle of the map is Norwood, where I live, and you move east, Hyde Park, Oakley, Mount Lookout, Mt.Washington, Anderson Township, Marymount, Newtown, Fairfax, Mount Adams, East End, Linwood, little slice of downtown. I say this more than once. So that whole area is my district. I'll be on your ballot this fall if you live in any of those locations. It has been a tremendous honor to serve as your judge for the last 10 years. For the last year and a half or so, I've served as our court's presiding and administrative judge. I was selected by my colleagues for that designation, and it's really been an honor and a wonderful experience. I'm proud of my record as a judge who consistently always follows the law, treats everyone fairly, respects people's time. I do the work efficiently, and I work very hard to keep our community safe by holding dangerous criminals accountable and by delivering justice for the victims of crime. I'm happy to take questions, but I know I'm on the clock, so I will be back. I've passed out some information there. It's got our website, keepjudgeberkowitz.com, social media. There's a lot of information on each of those resources, and I'll stick around. Well, stick around for a little bit.
We'll have a quick Q&A. All right, Steve, are you ready? Okay, then we will have a quick Q&A, and then we will try and get through the rest of our agenda.
All right, well, they didn't save the best for last. My name is Steve Gooden. I was pleased to serve on City Council from 2020 to 2022. Most recently served as the president of the Clifton Town Meeting, so thank you for your work. This is really what democracy looks like in this setting. So I will be very quick. Most politicians try to impress upon you how much they care. I want you to vote for me because I don't care. Okay, frankly, I don't care. I reached a point in my life, I'm 55 years old. I got 3 kids who are total pains in my ass. I don't care what people think of me anymore. I'm going to say what I think is correct. Okay, I work at a big 4th Street law firm. I was on council. I've been part of the whole Chamber of Commerce crowd. I'm going to say some things very quickly that go against the conventional wisdom, but that I think are true. Number one, we have not fully funded our police department in 15 years, and it shows. We have not tended to infrastructure properly in years, and it shows. Okay, we got talked into selling the railroad, and they're going to spend that money on other stuff, and it shows. The city, God bless Bob Birch, wherever the hell he went, but God bless that guy, they have offloaded development to private entities from 3CDC to 3 CDCs to whatever else they have. There's no transparency. It isn't working, period. I used to think it's just City Hall doesn't listen. They don't want to listen. They have actually created this connected communities thing, which is designed to cut out community councils and lessen impact. So it's not good. So I don't care if you vote for me and you vote for my colleagues, Mr. Driehaus, Ms. Cole, Ms. Johnson, and there he is. Aaron, how could I miss you? We're all running on the charter ticket. The old Tarbell ticket is what we're calling it this year. Remember us. We haven't been active in years. We don't care what anyone thinks. We're just going to go down there and say what we think, okay, based on what, and I think it's what you guys think too. That's a lot of things. And one last thing, it should be clean house with Driehaus. I've told you it a dozen times. It's a catchy slogan. It's got to be a little mean, Don. It's got. My kid told me, clean house with Driehaus. I mean, it's got an edge. Thank you all for your time. Have a good evening. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, number one, for staying on time. Are there questions that we have tonight? We're going to do about 10 minutes. Any questions for our candidates tonight? All right. I just forgot one thing. Paul, did you have an update for the library? You're here.
Not really. We're in the temporary space. It's going well. Come see it, but yeah, not really an update. We still think we'll be in it until early next year.
Early next year, we should be back, heading back. I see workers at the space, so that's really wonderful.
You can't come in the back door. You want to park behind the library. We have a back entrance.
They do have back entrance into the library, so.
Please don't park at Ramondo's.
Yes, do not park at Ramondo's. Okay, so number one, don't park at Ramondo's. Number two, you have a back entrance. And number three, we should be back in there in early 2026 with a makerspace. All right. And a drop box. Okay, we have an AIG grant, which, John, I don't know if you want to speak to that very quickly. We need to spend some money. So we have some ideas very quickly, but we need some guidance. Your board needs some guidance.
So I got up here and talked about the AIG grant back in June. If you recall, we received $830 from the city. We will get this grant next year. The only obligation is that we have to spend the money in 2025 that we already received and then do some paperwork about it. There are some stipulations. It basically just has to be for the betterment of the community. The suggestion that the board came up with back in June was donating the money to the rec center because they host us graciously every single month. I would still like to do that, ideally for pool furniture, but we'll take suggestions on that. We are looking into, we've vetted out the idea of doing online polling. It's just going to take a little bit more time to actually implement that, and we have to spend the money this year. So I would like to bring to a vote to give the rec center $830. I'm actually going to one-up that and say I think we should round it to an even $1,000, and the extra $170 can come from our pockets. Are there any questions, or can we vote?
I make the motion. Are you making the motion?
I don't know if I can make the motion. I'll make the motion.
Okay.
Yes.
The motion is to give the AIG grant of $830 plus an additional $170 from the Mt.Washington Community Council to the Cincinnati Rec Center. Is that is your motion, John?
That's my motion.
Okay.
Are there any questions?
Are there any questions? Okay, Bob would like to second it. All those in favor? Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, lovely, we did it. That's how it's done. Guys, we are talking about traffic calming, about what we talked with Mr. Birch tonight. We will go ahead. The Department of Transportation is also going to come out. The Planning Commission asked them to also come out. We will set a date so we can have a community engagement about this, so we can get drawings. It is about safety. That was what they had told me when I went to the meeting. This, whole intersection situation is supposed to be about safety. So we want people, especially that walk to school, Mt.Washington parents, guardian angels. We want to know how to make that safe. That is the number one priority. So we will talk about getting community engagement about this project. So we won't be able to set the date tonight. I will send out emails. I will try and keep all of you updated, and we will put it on our Facebook, okay, about when the Department of Transportation will come out to our meeting. Is there any questions about that? Okay, community engagement, traffic calming, Beachmont and Honeysuckle. Back in 2024, a group came to us from the Honeysuckle Beachmont area. They requested that we put forth that they would be considered for traffic calming. They talked, and Rob, would you like to talk about who you guys talked to about this?
I'm happy to, sure.
Thank you. We just want to make sure we take a vote so we can submit this for 2027. It was supposed to be submitted, but with the change of guard, it did not.
So, thank you, Priscilla. Thanks so much for having me this evening and for entertaining this evening. We previously met with the Community Council, and about a year and a half ago, the Community Council passed a resolution supporting a request to the city's Department of Transportation and Engineering to look at the segment of Beachmont Avenue between Berkshire and Mears for traffic calming. It's the lowest traffic volume in the city. It's also near schools, and in that area, there are some deficiencies. At the time, the Community Council approved that resolution, sent a letter to DOTE. DOTE requested that be formally submitted later, and it appears that did not happen. And it's my understanding, with working with Priscilla, that DOTE is now allowing us to resubmit for 2027, but that submittal can come now.
And we have to do it now. We have to do it before the end of the month.
Do we need to make a motion?
I think we should make a motion. Well, I think we just have to form, yes.
Can I ask a question? Rob?
Of course.
When you're talking about traffic calming, do you have a specific type of traffic calming that we in mind, or just to have a study done to see if we would be a candidate for traffic calming in that?
So it's my understanding that you identify the route and then the city identifies the recommended solutions. So it's not a request for speed humps or something specific like that, like some of the grant requests are.
Great.
Thank you very much.
The idea is we will request this they will be repaving Beachmont in 2027, which is really exciting for all of us. So, So we are going to try and coordinate the two. So we just want to make sure that you know about that. I don't think we need a motion. It was requested and the board. Yes, but we just want to make sure, Julie, and is there any discussion or any approval, opposition? All right, then we will send that letter for the request for 2027. We just want to make sure you are informed about that. We are going to try and get you guys out of here. We're 15 minutes late, people. So event updates. Julie, you will do the cemetery tour, followed by Margot and then Teddy. And then we will talk very briefly at the end while Julie's coming up here. We have the 2026 comprehensive plan. What does that mean? Last time we did a comprehensive plan, which is comprehensive. It's about Mt.Washington. It's about business. It's about schools. It's about the parks. It's about everything that affects Mt.Washingtonians. The last time we did it was 2007. So please, we want everyone involved. We have to have a say. We can't complain if we do not get involved. So please, we will have things on the website. We will bring this up at every meeting, and we will have signups. So if you are interested tonight, you say, yes, I want to get involved in this. It's a 1-year commitment. Most likely you will meet once a month. We might try and coordinate it with community council meetings. But please, tonight before you leave, if you are interested, please put a check near your name, and I will get that information sent to Jesse Urbansic. Okay. All right. Who is speaking first? There we go.
I'll be
Good.
really quick. I've been the 38-year volunteer caretaker of the formerly abandoned Mt.Washington Cemetery. Please put on your calendars, September 28th, we're doing something we've never done. We're doing a historical reenactment tour, and some of the people that are reenacting, we're all reenacting roles of people buried in the cemetery, and some are direct descendants of founders of Mount Washington. I happen to live in the house of the granddaughter of the only woman we know of who was body snatched from the cemetery. I will be playing her. So we have a lot of really interesting stories. It will be $15. We get no money from the city. We have to raise every penny. And in that time, we've planted enough trees, which means hundreds. We're now a nationally recognized arboretum. It's a beautiful cemetery. Please come and support us. You'll find us on Mount Washington Cemetery and Arboretum. We'll have tours on September 28th at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. I hope we see you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, now moving on from cemetery to make it even more interesting, Margot's going to talk about the medieval trebuchets at Pumpkin Chuck.
Yes. So Pumpkin Chuck, November 1st, coming up really quickly, 12 p.m. So on y'all's tables, I put 3 QR codes. If you have any interest in donating, volunteering, or sponsorship, just go ahead, scan those. We also have the website listed, pumpkinchuck.org. So as more information is coming in, as more vendors, sponsors, food trucks commit, we'll have everything updated there. And of course, any inquiries, you can consult the website. Thank you.
Okay. All right, and then the last, to warm your hearts and your souls, Teddy's going to talk about the new holiday market, a new not project, a new event. Thank you.
Hi again, everybody. So yes, the holiday market, like I said before, November 22nd from 4 to 8 p.m. It'll be held in the parking lot behind the business district where we have community parking. Please reach out to me. I'll be here for a little while afterwards. There's also an email address on the flyer if you're interested in volunteering or having your own booth. And more information will be available as we have it to give to you guys. So thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you. All right, before we end the meeting, I want to thank all the city council candidates for coming out. It is wonderful, we appreciate it. We know you have very full days and weekends. We know this is a very busy, busy time for all of you. Are there any other announcements we need for tonight? All right, is there anything for the good of the order?
These guys are so fun together, man. I'd like to see them on our council. I'm just listening to hear everybody, do what they said. Look, understand, read about them. We could probably use a good shake-up.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that is, once again, I have to say a personal opinion. All right, guys, thank you so much. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Margot, that we only need that and we are done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And the meeting is at 7 p.m. next month. Sorry. Do you want this?
Hey, how are
We're developing our.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
So just so we get this straight, he's on the board, just got $18, not telling anybody. That's like, it's all live for the whole world to see. You guys nailed it. I mean, it's documented now. Like,